Recently, we travelled to Wales to meet my good friend Dorian, who's a 28-year-old property developer building over £200 million worth of property. And at the end of the video, he actually showed us around his biggest project yet, an £8 million development. So where are we?
So this site is the old Victoria Inn in Newport, Nash Road.
Let's take a look.
Let's have a look.
What's the approximate total value of this project?
This is a £3 million project. A bit different to London, eh?
A little bit. So this is obviously social housing that you're building.
Yeah, correct.
In a nutshell, for those that have never heard the term social housing before,
Yeah.
What is it?
So social housing is a sub-brand of affordable housing, and it is effectively housing for those that have no income, in it, really, or very, very minimal income, and they're dependent on the state to help them.
And what's the core differences in terms of what you're building, how you're building, compared to if it's were private apartments?
I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, especially in Wales, some of these developments we build are a better standard than private.
What's the handover process like with these guys?
In a development like this, you fix your sale price, so that's done and you're in a contract. You then got to give a programme and you've got to deliver to that programme, and then every month you'll have an employer's agent come around, valuing what the works you've done, to then give you a drawdown, and also checking themselves for risk.
Because they're the bank.
They're effectively working on behalf of the client as the bank.
Yep.
And then you've got the client's clerk of works come around, or project manager come around, checking what you're doing. Is it being done correctly?
I'm impressed. It's a nice place to live, even if it's private.
Oh, well, I'm not saying it. Sean's an excellent site manager. What do you reckon would be, for what you would say, the number one key tip for people to run a successful project like this? What's the biggest thing? Organisation. Cool. All good?
Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Well, thank you so much for showing us, mate.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
So your business then, put simply, is you're finding land
Yes.
which has the potential for development, and you take it through that planning permission process, and you get the planning, and then you find an RSL, which stands for Registered Social Landlord
in Wales.
They buy it from you at an agreed price, which is higher than what you've agreed to buy the land for.
Ideally. Yeah, it doesn't always work that way, but yeah.
And then you enter a build. So are you the contractor as well?
Yes. How I define ourselves in a nutshell, we are a social house building company.
Okay.
So we're land-led, so we identify and maximise and secure land opportunities, mainly brownfield like this, i.e. there's been some form of development on it previously, mainly inside the settlement boundary. We will forward sell to a registered social housing landlord, or a housing association, or a registered provider, different terminology.
So at this point you don't own the development?
No, most of the time we just take contract positions. So like I said on this, we didn't buy the site, we took a contract position. So we will buy this site off the vendor for an agreed price, subject to planning consent, housing association on board, SAB approval, which is surface water drains, whatever conditions you can get agreed, basically. Here's a nominal deposit, and this is how long we have to do it. And then we'll have our programme, call it 18 months on average. At the end of the project,
here's the keys.
Handover. We have to look after it though for 12 months in terms of defects.
Sure. Cool. Where we go next?
It's up to you. We've got 10 others. So this is Pontymister, Newport Road, Risca, currently with our good site manager, Jason Hook, and we're building 18 apartments as well, like the last site you saw. Masonry again.
Is that all you do, 18 apartments?
No, we do more than that, I promise. Everywhere's 2-storey, yet we've managed to get 3 stories. So we're going to be the highest building here.
So what was this before?
Petrol station.
Petrol station.
Yeah, real brownfield.
What's your pipeline at the minute? What are you in construction on? What have you got coming up?
We've currently got 10 sites live under construction now, 220 homes. We've got 18 sites in our pipeline of just over 800 homes in the pipeline. And we've got quite a number of leads out and offers pending. Our target is, for the region, is to be handing over between 250 and 300 homes a year. That means we need to be in construction of about 450 approximately. So we're halfway towards our regional goal.
So how long is it going to take to hit target?
By year-end 2026, because at the moment it takes on average 21 months for us to get an offer accepted to get on site.
And then it's
18 months to build.
Cool. So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
So if you want to get in development, if you're going to do one site at a time, you're either going to be rich when you're 80 to enjoy retirement, or you need a big pipeline to do multiple sites at a time.
Jace, how long have you worked with Dorian?
About 14 months now. Like,
okay,
so, you're in a bit.
Yeah.
He's not run off yet.
Yeah.
I used to have 17 folders and everything was in there.
Wow.
Now it's in a tablet. It took me a little while to get into.
Jason had to pull up in a van full of books. He did.
What's that?
So on a typical 18-month program, simply put, what does that 18 months look like?
On average, it takes about 5 months to do the groundworks. It takes, on a masonry superstructure like this, it takes another 5 months roughly for this frame, for this superstructure to go up, in my opinion. This is with roof on, etc. as well. The internals will take anywhere between 3 and 4 months. There could be a month snagging period.
Yeah.
And pre the groundworks, the enabling works, that just depends on the level of enabling works needed.
Can you lay bricks?
I can lay it, whether it's straight, whether it's neat or
I'm an
plumb.
ex-brickie.
Oh, really?
Hey, I'll have you know that Lego was my forte.
So it's a question for you. A lot of people think developers are builders and contractors, and a lot of people think builders and contractors are also developers.
Yeah.
How would you explain the difference between the two?
So I actually started out as a developer, and a developer, in my opinion, is somebody who can maximise an opportunity with the given constraints and rules out there. So for us, property development is very much, there's an opportunity on your side. The rules that govern us are planning policy, demand in the area, etc., etc. And our job is to maximise that side for those constraints and rules to get the best value and ideally the best profit as well. A contractor, what they're very good at is just actual delivery. You know, he is the plans. I want to build this, build it. Developers not necessarily good at that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, love it. Makes sense.
So this is a site in Samlet Road, Swansea. This is a 35 unit development, and believe it or not, there's actually 18 apartments on here again, and 17 houses.
What was the first property deal you ever did?
My first deal I did was just a standard buy, refurbish, refinance, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I was 20.
But what was like a small two-bedroom?
Yeah, it was just a two-bedroom house basically. You go in there and.
Remember what you paid for it?
No, I can't remember. I think it was 60,000, something like that. Yeah, and I think did the refurb and sold it for like 120,000 or something. So it was a couple of tens of thousands of money in it.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it was the first one. You know, it's you don't really do it for the money, although you try. You do it because of all the lessons, and it just gets you going.
And what's the value of the pipeline at the minute with Cassette?
Over 200 million.
Wow.
At the moment. We had one deal that was dead recently, dead, and now it's come back to life. I got off the phone today, found out that the deal's back to life. It's an £11.8 million project.
Wow.
And last month it was dead. So road going in first, as we said. Before this as well, there was all the infrastructure stuff. Foundations being done, there's rafts, and then slabs going down, and those progressing as well. Scaffolding going up, ready for timber kits, and slabs still progressing. Masonry commenced on this one, and the sole plates down here for timber frame, and then boom.
And what's the total value of this scheme?
This one is 8 million.
Okay, nice.
Cool.
Pays the bills. What's the landscaping like on a site like this? Very minimal, basic.
So it's actually quite comprehensive.
Is it?
Yeah. It's quite a big thing. Once all of this is finished, all that's going to be green space basically, soft landscaping, but there's landscape features right throughout the site when it's finished. Obviously, all of those will have gardens and standard boundary treatments, but there's quite a big emphasis on greenery.
Wow.
Every site we have to do now, it's got to be a biodiversity net gain.
What does that mean in simple terms?
Obviously, construction and development is damaging to habitats and the environment. So what they're saying is, if you're going to go onto a development site and rip it up and build on it, you've got to leave it better, you have a net gain for habitats and ecology than it was before. And you could do that through planting different types of plants, trees. It's just quite a lot of different stuff. Wow. These are actually quite decent, aren't they, these sites? I mean, I'd be honest, I would happily do 10 of these simultaneously.
This is going particularly well. It really is flying now.
Wow.
So that continuity is there and everyone knows exactly what they're doing. First house is always a template, but once you've done that, away you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going well.